Ordinary day at a busy luxury dealership in the city. The gleaming windows reflected the latest and most expensive cars, and the atmosphere was a constant parade of elegant attire, expensive perfume, and approving glances. Among the salespeople and the few buyers, a murmur arose when an elderly woman walked through the door. Mrs. Luisa was 82 years old, with carefully tied gray hair and very simple clothes. She wore a faded floral dress and a pair of old slippers, and carried a worn-out bag that seemed to have more history than time itself. For the salespeople at the dealership, accustomed to young and wealthy customers, her presence there was almost an insult. As she began to admire the cars, one of the salesmen, Renato, approached her. His tone was condescending and cold. "Can I help you with something, ma'am?" he asked, his gaze fixed on her clothes, as if trying to understand what she was doing there. "I'd like to see that model up close," Donna Luisa replied calmly, pointing to a luxury sedan that cost the equivalent of many houses. Renato stifled a laugh and said, "That car is very expensive. Maybe you're in the wrong place." Other salespeople, observing the situation, chuckled quietly, supporting their colleague. She remained calm, looked Renato in the eye and replied, "I know very well how much that car costs, young man." Even so, Renato decided to ignore her request and politely but harshly indicated the exit. "You should look for something more affordable somewhere else," he said, dismissing her without the slightest ceremony. Donna Luisa remained silent, took a deep breath, turned around and left the dealership. As she walked slowly down the street, she remembered all the times she had been underestimated and judged by her appearance. When she reached a corner, she picked up her cell phone and made a call. Minutes later, a black limousine pulled up in front of the dealership. A man dressed in an impeccable suit got out of the vehicle. It was his lawyer, who immediately entered the establishment, attracting respectful glances. He walked up to the manager and informed him, in a firm tone, that his client, the woman who had just been thrown out, was none other than Luisa Almeida, owner of one of the largest fortunes in the country and main investor in a chain of dealerships, including the store itself. Renato, the salesman who had mistreated her, was livid, his eyes wide with surprise. When they tried to run to the exit to apologize, Donna Luisa was already back in, accompanied by the lawyer and the manager, who was shaking with nerves. She looked directly at Renato and, in a firm voice, said, "You underestimated me because of my appearance and thought I wasn't worthy of being here. Today, you learned a lesson about respect." Faced with the incredulous looks of the other employees, Donna Luisa turned to the manager. "I want this young man fired immediately," she demanded. The manager, without question, complied with the order, and Renato left with his face red with shame and fury. The other salespeople remained silent, shocked by the turnaround. After Renato left, Donna Luisa began to look at the cars again. A salesman, more sensible and now visibly nervous, approached and respectfully explained the features of the model she had chosen. With a discreet smile, she decided to buy the car, paying cash, and thanked the salesman for his attention. When the car was delivered, she took one last look around and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Remember, a person's worth is not in the clothes they wear, but in who they really are." After leaving the dealership in her new vehicle, she drove through the city streets, free, feeling the breeze on her face and the pleasure of having taught a powerful lesson to those who judged by appearances. Donna Luisa continued her life as she always had, discreetly, but with a confidence that only years and life experience can give. In her mind, however, that experience would never be forgotten. So, if you enjoyed this story of turnaround and overcoming, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories like this.